Archive 81. Let's do yes. This is Archive. I have very mixed feelings about the show. First of all, I have to shame Miracle
for
a little bit. Miracle told me, and I quote, this isn't a direct quote. She told me Samuel is unimportant. She told me the lady in the red coat was unimportant, both of which ended up being very, very important.
Okay, for me, I was like, the lady in the red coat, she's not important to me, and Samuel is just a throwaway character to me.
But he was important to the plot. I didn't ask if it was important to you. I asked if it was important to the movie or to the show.
Sorry. You should have said it, clarified what you meant. I'm joking.
Yeah, you better be. Okay, I've got
notes.
I have so many pages of notes here, all of which will end up...
You're killing so many trees.
They won't end up mattering because, okay, episode 5, this is my big takeaway. Before anything, like, because, like, really, the notes are just like a starting off point for a conversation. The big thing here is that I think that this would have worked better as a movie than a TV show.
Yeah.
First of all, and I don't mean to sound grotesque, this movie, this show is almost all, it does a fantastic job of building and holding tension, meaning that it's very, like, she's moving around this apartment complex. Yeah. The music makes it very tense. It's very, very up in the air, you know. Excuse me.
Are you okay?
It's very tense. It's very, but the tension is never paid off.
Yeah.
It's just tension for the sake of tension.
Yeah.
It's essentially like having sex without having the end, you know.
No, please. Explain to the children what you mean.
No, you know what I'm saying. That's exactly what this is like. Okay? And the one thing, the character who suffers the worst from this is... from this being a show and not a movie, is Dina Shahabi as Melody Pendress, because the reason her character works in those first few episodes is because she has this warmth and kindness about her that gradually gets stripped away from her. Yeah. So in the last 4 episodes, she's just worn to the edges of her personality. She's very, very quick to anger. She's scared. She's scared out of her mind, and she's angry, and she's frightened, and she can play that role well. But it's it seems like it builds up and then it just stays there. And I don't think that she is as engaging of a character when she's like that. It's her warmth in the earlier scenes that draws you in, not her as this terrified woman.
Yeah.
I think that the lead actor was not given much to work with at the end. And for what he does do well is he has this incredible, which I mentioned before, his voice is really, really good.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't get enough dialogue to really put that to good use. So it's about a demon, Kalego.
Demon/god.
Demon/god Kalego. And the women it's witches that are called the Baldung.
Yeah.
And they find out that Melody is a descendant of is Baldung.
Yeah.
And that we find out that the woman with the red coat who just ran, we should have known, because she just randomly appears throughout the show, is the mother of Melody Pendress.
I just didn't like her character. That's why I was like, she's not that important.
But she's very important to the plot. Yeah. She's extremely important to the plot.
Yeah.
But in the end, so this is my big question. Now, there are moments of brilliance here, mainly in the way that it's shot. But like the example of the PX, what is the camera called? The Fisher Price camera. It's called like a PX 1000 or something like that.
Yeah.
I have it written down here.
Did you ever have that growing up?
No, I did not. But that. But that thing's like.
It's tiny. It's tiny. It's made for kids. Kind of expensive kids toy.
Oh, also, I want to know what the hell happened with the mold.
Oh, the mold. So
in the stuff about attics, that just ended up not being important. Right?
Yeah. So basically, they said the mold only appears when Kalego is around.
Okay, so
when Kalego's around, like, they consider it a blessing or like a curse, depending who you're talking to. But mainly, they said it was like a blessing, saying that Kalego's there to be there to bless whoever is trying to summon him.
Okay, and it was a Fisher Price PXL 2000.
Yeah.
The best friend Annabelle, she ends up being a better part of it than I thought. She plays more of a role. down the line. I did think it was funny that they somehow put them in a psych ward with windows.
Yeah.
That's never truly, I mean, I can't tell if that's supposed to be real or not.
Well, maybe because they don't think her character is hostile.
Yeah. In the show, just the problem with the show is that it's tense, but it's meandering.
Yeah.
It really does take a really long time to get here. It says, I wanted to put up this article. I had this article pulled up last time and I ignored it. It says Archive 81 ending, final plot twist explained. The ending sees Melody, played by Dina Shahabi, trying to save Jess, Ariana Neal, from Samuel. Samuel is the guy that Miracle thinks was unimportant, but was very important. Melody was able to help Jess until Samuel in turn grabs her. They also never explain, like, she climbs across a window to get Jess out.
Yeah.
Why doesn't she just climb out behind her? Rather than Samuel then steps into the magic cloud. See, then it becomes about magic, and it's like it was so much more interesting when you didn't know what it was all about.
Yeah,
there was no real way they were going to pay this off properly, and they find out that Virgil, that's the brother of Samuel. You find that out when the drug addict, I forget that character's name. That actor was great. The guy who played
he's really good.
The guy who played the addict was fantastic. Falls out the window and you see him on camera. Now, I will say that the found footage aspect of this works really, really well when it's done. But like in the episode 5 is almost all Melody, and you see less of that because it's her actual experiences there.
Yeah.
And I really just was expecting this to be. And then episode 7, it's the Iris. Iris is like baby crazy. That's the descendant, the one who kills the first. Her servant or her maid or whoever that they hire.
Her do they still use the term lady in waiting, whatever? It's her handmaid.
Yeah. I thought that the best friend was going to be part of the twist. I thought he was going to be a bad guy.
No.
Also they did a fantastic job of making that guy look like he's fat and he's not. Maybe he was when he did the role, but he's definitely not. They did the same with Melody. Like, in a way, they make her look very plain, but that actress is absolutely stunning. So it's kind of interesting how they have to, like, take them in and, like, okay, we have to find a way to make it look like life has just been hitting you at 100 miles an hour. So the makeup, the hair, the costume design is really, really good in the show. Like, Daniel has this, he's always wearing these really nice like cardigans as a fellow cardigan wearer. I truly appreciate that. So the environment, the entirety of the show feels very real to me. Like you have to like think for a second, like as she's doing all this in this apartment building, you just think, just leave. Just get the hell out of there. So you have to really buy into the situation that that she couldn't just say like, I'm getting the F out of here. I don't care what the hell is going on. You have to believe that she cares enough about this Jess girl to go back and save her.
Well, it's funny because in the TV show, like Jess's mom intervenes and is like, dude, parent your own kids. This is my own kid. Yep. And like Dan's dad, what's his name again?
I don't remember that. I just call him Dr. Turner.
Oh, Steven. Steven, he was like, really, Melody, you took somebody else's kid and parented it.
He always looks very like put upon whenever she shows up. And then he locks her in the room with Annabelle. I still don't know if that was real or not. Like, what are the chances they end up at the same psych ward and then get locked in a room together? Yeah. Like, how bad could life be? I got locked in with my best friend. It's going to be fine.
I don't know. For me, like, the whole TV show was kind of a mess at then. Yeah,
I think the biggest takeaway is that they did not stick the landing. And they absolutely did this to they want to do a season 2.
Yeah.
I also thought there was going to be a connection between Jess and Emily Turner, the daughter, because they have a kind of similar look.
Yeah.
But they ended up not doing that. Virgil Davenport ended up being somewhat more important, but not very. Like, I thought, I guess they did well with that because they made it out like he was going to be some big bad, but he's really just a dude trying to,
figure out how his dad, his brother went missing or dead.
And in general, it was just very meandering. I would have liked to have seen more of the best friend with the podcast. and more with Annabelle, who I didn't like it. I didn't like the Annabelle character at first, and she ended up growing on me. But in general, I think that I think they want to do a season 2.
Yeah, that's the whole point of that whole
ending.
Yeah, the whole ending.
As soon as they cut to Dan, okay, so what happens is he has to go and he gets transported into the other world, right, to get Melody out with the help of Melody's mother, who is Baldung, meaning she's a witch who can contact, and what, the other side is that Kalego's Kalego's trying to get out of the other world and into their world, right? It feels ridiculous just explaining this. I love it.
Well, it's just like, imagine Stranger Things, the upside down world.
Yes.
But instead of being upside down, it's basically the same world, but there's nothing touched, but you're kind of stuck in there.
There's Elseworlds in DC. There's Outworld in Mortal Kombat. There's the upside down world in Stranger Things. Now we have the other. I bet you there's another other world somewhere in media. But one thing that I thought was that they definitely want to do a season 2, and so I'm trying to explain the situation. So he gets Melody out, and then he gets stuck, but he doesn't get stuck in the other world.
He gets stuck in her time period
in 1994, which makes no sense.
Yeah,
unless I missed something, makes no sense.
Well, but it's because like Samuel grabbed. I legit thought Samuel grabbed Melody, but I don't understand how.
Why didn't he get now? Does Samuel get transported back out with Melody?
Well, they didn't show that part. So that's what really confuses me.
He just disappeared. He's both, or no, maybe he's still in the other world. Melody is in 2022.
Yeah.
And then Daniel's in 1994. And the other thing was, as soon as I saw him in the bed and they showed the MTV, I'm like, I was like looking around, I'm like, I wish there was someone right here so I could make a bet of how they show the Twin Towers as their signal point for the fact that it's the 90s. And of course, they show the window, and of course, you see the Twin Towers reflected in the window.
Yeah.
They just couldn't resist the imagery. Very, very, for a show that worked very hard to be very unique, I thought I didn't think they needed to do that, but it is what it is. I get why they...
you caught that part? I didn't catch that part.
I knew that as soon as they showed the TV with like Kurt Cobain's death, I knew that they were going to show the Twin Towers, because the show takes place in New York City. They're never going to be able to resist the urge to do that. I think that Melody showed her... Dina, Dina Shahabi, I believe that she did a better job of portraying the fear and the anxiety and the desperation more so than Mamadou Athie portrayed it through Daniel Turner. But I think also she's experiencing it in a more visceral, real way with all the people around her, whereas Daniel is experiencing it with people who aren't quite sure if he's telling the truth, don't know if he's going nuts.
He's watching it like... He's watching it like firsthand on tape, so he doesn't know if it's just like all in his mind, because you remember his best friend with the podcast where they interviewed somebody who claims to be her,
and they're like her. And then there was in episode 7, there was the guy, because Daniel sees the tapes with all the tapes that they have the other guy go to. Thomas Bellows is hired. He was the person who was at that compound before he was, and he gets driven mad by the tapes and seeing Kalego. Like, I thought the show was at its worst when it shows Kalego in the screens, and it's very Paranormal Activity. It's very modern horror. I liked it better when they kept it, if this makes sense, in 2 dimensions and didn't meld the worlds. I get why they're doing it. They're showing that the demon is trying to get out. But I didn't feel like that stuff worked.
I didn't like that effect. But then, like, when Melody was when Daniel was looking for Melody, where Kalego like jump scared her, I didn't like that part. That part, it's like a hit or a miss.
One thing I'll say is that this is a show that could have been full of jump scares, and it doesn't really do that. I'll give them credit for that. I do think that they built up a crap ton of tension with no... Like, it was directed as if it was a movie, not as if it's a TV show. There's no payoff in any... There needs to be... Maybe this is just my opinion. There needs to be at least some emotional payoff in each episode to keep people watching.
Well, maybe that's what season 2 is.
Maybe. Maybe. We will see. But we'll just go down here at the end. So it says, Mark comes to help, hitting Virgil over the head with a crowbar so that he doesn't stop Dan's plan to rescue Melody. Dan and Mark then head down to the compound and find a replica of the visitor's basement. See, I didn't get that part. I was like, is that the... are they at the Visor? And then I realized, yeah, they built a replica of it. There's a great ode to like old film and all this stuff with like vintage shot on reels and all this. That stuff is great. It's at its best when it's paying homage to these old types of technologies and stuff like that. I love that stuff. Or how the mold grew in the tape deck. That was fantastic.
Yeah.
But those are the little things that I like. The little things that I like don't end up usually being all that important. It's just kind of extra details to fill in a story. But that's the stuff that my brain tends to focus on. It says, Melody miraculously returns to the present day with her mom. It's written by Lad Bible because mom is spelled M-U-M. But Dan is shown in a hospital bed. When he wakes up, a nurse says that the staff was worried he would never wake up and had been asleep for 10 days after the Visor catastrophe. So I really do feel like they're going for a second season.
Yeah.
Maybe do a movie for the second one.
I don't know.
I don't think they would do that. I think they would, if they were going to do it again, they'll do a show. But I think that maybe it'd be better off as a movie.
Yeah, that's what they did with like Heidi. So Heidi's like an animated show. They did 2 seasons, and then the 3rd season they made it into a movie. I
think that would be, they would be better off trying to, because there's just so much extraneous stuff that doesn't matter. So I would love to see them if they're going to continue with this. And I don't know. I mean, it did pretty well for several weeks, so it's possible that they end up doing that. Look at that picture. Isn't that sweater? I want that cardigan. Can you buy me that cardigan?
Yeah, I'll search it up now.
There's literally something, a site called Worn on TV. I don't know if it's still up and running, but they used to do that for clothing. I was like looking for a shirt that a character in the show Nikita wore back in like
it's still there.
Worn on TV. I doubt they have Archive 81 on there, but they should, because there's a lot of great vintage clothing there. So
I'll search it.
My general question is then, is this something that you would recommend to people, and why?
So we explained it to Hannah Claire. If you have a long attention span, yes, I recommended it, because you have to commit sitting over
a lot of time,
because again, each episode is over an hour long. Also,
there was one, I think like episode 7 was only like 45, like one of them ended up being like way
really
short, and it was better, and it was better.
I don't know, like for me, it just depends, like, what type of person you are. If you like to do investigations and little Easter eggs, because there are Easter eggs in the background, like, if you, like, watch a little bit more. And then...
if you watch it more closely.
Yeah. So we have to watch it again if you want.
I'm not watching it again.
I'm not either. I'm done.
It doesn't... I'm not saying it was bad, but if you... if found footage is something that you enjoy, if longer form storytelling is something that works for you, and you don't mind the fact that it's a lot of tension and very little payoff, I would recommend it. But I think that in a realm, in a world now where there's so much to choose from, I think it does itself a disservice by making it harder to sit through all of it, by making it that long and having that little of a payoff. That's my personal opinion.
I don't know, but like for me, it's just depends on the person.
Then what is your if you could list a highlight or an actor you felt was really good?
The main actor. I liked his parts a lot.
Dan Turner.
When he actually gets to do something, like especially
not just staring at a screen.
Especially at the end where like he finds the black mold and then like he starts freaking out and like searching the whole
he excelled
facility.
In those scenes. When he gets to finally deliver real dialogue and not just talk at a screen, and he's got that deep, very I don't even know how to describe his voice, but it's very commanding. But but he's also full of like anxiety. So it's a unique combination.
And then for me, my least favorite character is the main actress, Melody. No offense, like I love her acting, but like her character gets annoying at times.
I, on the other hand, loved her character. At least in the first 5 episodes, I felt that she has a fantastic screen presence. She really finds a way to draw you in and make it feel plausible that someone's having this haunted building, per se, a haunted building cult happen around her without her being like, I'm just going to go. So I felt that she did a good job of drawing me into the story and keeping me invested. Her stuff, like whenever something bad would happen to Annabelle, you could see on her face how much it pained her. I think she did a fantastic job there. I think the weakest point would have been the Virgil character, who I liked in the first few episodes, but he ends up not being nearly as important as you think he is.
Yeah.
Because he's being played to be the big bad, and then there isn't a big bad.
Yeah.
The Samuel character looked like he was having the time of his life doing this role.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if he had it in him to play cult leader. Though I think he also was it him that played Charles Manson in something else? I'm going to look at. I'm curious right now.
Brett is on case.
I am. Was that him that played?
Also, that cardigan that you want, somebody else wants it, but they don't say it's on sale. And the website that you recommended earlier, Warren on TV, they don't have that series on there. They have you on there.
That's weird.
No, like
the show you.
Show. Yeah.
That website was fantastic back in the day. I don't know if it's that actor, but there was an actor, one of them that played like Charles Manson in 2 different things, but that might not have been him. I IMDb quite a bit, so I could be misinterpreting. But I felt like he had fun, but I just don't know if he kind of pulled off that role as well as it needed to be done to play like this true believer cult leader, really charismatic. I just don't know if it really worked. So if you've got the time, you can go ahead and watch it. I do believe that they want a season 2. I don't know if they're going to get it. It did get good ratings, so we will see.
Yeah, it did. So,
or at least according to like as much as we can tell, it got good ratings. Netflix listed it as being very popular. So who knows if that's actually true or not.
I love it how I searched up Archive 81 outfits and they show Oliver Tree, the singer.
Oh, okay. There you go.
And I'm like, okay, close enough.
Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.